we've got our general difficulties that we've been suffering from for a long time. I think poverty, mental illness is a big problem here. A vicious circle really of all those things: poverty, housing problems, drugs, addictions, things like that. I think standard nationally.
And what has happened is that although sometimes these things go in circles, is the fact that there has been support within Ilfracombe, but with cutbacks, that traditional support has been withdrawn, and Belle's Place has been an organisation that has developed and has come in to pick up that need and to help people. One Ilfracombe has been supporting Belle's Place for a number of years now. We've helped to source funding from a variety of different organisations, one of them being the Police Crime Commissioners Fund. We've sourced funding from the NHS, CCG, and also local organisations such as the Round Table and Rotary. That funding has been used for a variety of purposes for Belle's Place, one of them being the Meals and More service. And with Belle's Place being there, it's helped individuals with their well-being, their general mental health. It's been incredible the impact that the Belle's Place has on people's lives.
Basically, after the eviction and everything, I had a total mental breakdown. And I was suicidal. So I wasn't in a good place. Belle's Place and Carol and the partner, Steve, I think, they've done the world for me.
It's about having this place as a hub, really, and having those services here for our users. Our users, as I say, are very chaotic. They do find it difficult to engage. Services do find it difficult to engage with them. By building up a really strong relationship with them myself, I am then able to support and encourage that link with different agencies, which is really important.
Coming here means that at least I have something to eat, which is good, and I'm meeting other people.
But it's also had a knock-on effect about helping keep things like crime down, antisocial behaviour, and it's also providing an environment that people know that they can go to Belle's Place, they feel safe and are able to discuss problems and issues. And the next stage of the plan was, with Belle's Place, was getting in perhaps people from different agencies such as housing, maybe a GP, maybe people from the police, so then come in maybe one day a week to then discuss these problems and to help people in a relaxed and informal setting, which has worked well in other places of the country. For example, just from basic having hot meals. Before the Meals and More service, they would go without hot meals, nutrition, and they would end up eating junk food or not at all.
During COVID, we'd had established really good links with Together, and I was able to access that support for addiction issues. Although they do operate a holistic system and do offer support for mental health, I thought it was important that we could have sort of mental health services here as well.
One pot of funding that we've been able to draw down was from the Police Crime Commissioner, who we've been working with to specifically deliver mental health training within the local community, and some of this money was for Belle's Place to deliver mental health training to support their volunteers, and for those volunteers to then support the cohort of people that were going to Belle's Place. We were also looking to expand that as well with this funding for other community groups, so that their volunteers were able to go on courses such as mental health first aid training to be able to support community groups. And unfortunately COVID got in the way and sort of scuppered all of those plans. During lockdown, Belle's Place were able to continue to offer their Meals and More service, although it was socially distanced. They didn't close down throughout the whole of lockdown, still helping those vulnerable people. And during this time, they were one of the only voluntary organisations that were still giving mental health support, and this was directly through that funding.
I thought it was important that we could have sort of mental health services here as well. Unfortunately, our plan to have small sessions, weekly sessions, we were unable to do because of COVID, so we had to think of other ways that we could support our users during that time.
Belle's Place kept running, and the volunteers kept coming in, and they kept then providing this vital service. And so the funding that we received, not only from the Police Crime Commissioner but for our other agencies, that funding has been vital for keeping the Meals and More service going, but also to help empower the volunteers through training to deliver help with mental health and well-being issues.
It's been no end of help over the pandemic. Sort of, this is the only place that was open, even when some of the shops wasn't open, to sort of dish out food. Sort of for money, Carol was still here, sort of doing her part for the community, which brilliant. Especially since as all the bigger towns had all of their main places closed, and they've got a hell of a lot more funding and a lot more people that use the building. So yeah. They've got like well, all the services I can think of you can access from this place, especially now they've got together here as well. That was the only sort of thing they didn't really used to deal with, but I suppose now they've got someone here from together, they sort of do absolutely everything now, or if they don't, they can point you in the right direction. When I was suffering with homelessness a few months ago, I spoke to Carol. She managed to get some people to come in from the homeless outreach team. They sorted me out some waterproof clothing and everything, so yeah, so it all worked out brilliant in the end.
It is a vital service within everything.
They put me back on the straight and narrow, and brought me back to reality, and if they weren't here, I don't know what I'd be doing.